Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the story of a soldier who saved almost 200 men in the thick of World War I. A true hero. The only thing is, this soldier had wings. So let's set the scene. It's October 1918. We're deep in the Ardennes Forest in France, and it's a total nightmare. An entire American battalion is trapped, and this is their last desperate hope. Yep, this is the story of the unit that history now calls the Lost Battalion. And believe me, their situation was about as dire as it gets.
So you've got over 550 men from the U.S. 77th Division. They pushed way deep into enemy territory and then, snap, the line broke behind them. They were completely cut off, basically an island of Americans surrounded by a sea of German soldiers.
And when I say surrounded, I mean completely encircled. The Germans had them pinned down in this ravine. There was no way forward, no way back. Just nonstop machine gun fire, constant mortar attacks. Guys were falling every single hour. And then, just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. The single worst nightmare in any war becomes real. Their own artillery, not knowing where they are, starts dropping shells right on top of them. 30 men killed by their own side. So what do? Communication is totally gone. Radio lines, cut. Send a runner, he gets shot down instantly. Their only connection to the outside world, their only hope, was a piece of technology that was literally ancient. We're talking about carrier pigeons. I know, it sounds old-fashioned, but the U.S. Army Signal Corps had about 600 of these birds in France. And honestly, in the mud and chaos of the trenches, a pigeon's natural instinct to fly home was often way more reliable than any fancy new tech. And the system itself was genius in its simplicity. You'd write a message on super thin paper, roll it up into a tiny canister, and attach it to the pigeon's leg. Then you just let it go. Miles away, at its home loft, its arrival would trigger a little bell, letting everyone know a message from the front just came in. Now, here's the thing. Major Whittlesey had already tried this. He sent out 2 pigeons already. Both were shot right out of the sky. He's got one bird left. Just one. Its name was cher ami. That's French for dear friend. This was literally his last shot. Everything, the lives of all those men, it all came down to this one tiny bird. They attached the note begging the artillery to stop and sent cher ami into the air. The second cher ami is in the air, the German machine guns open up. They knew exactly what to look for. And the American soldiers, watching from down in that ravine, they see it. Their last hope gets hit, and it just plummets to the ground. But then, something incredible happens. The bird, wounded and bleeding, gets back up. It gets back into the air and keeps going, flying 25 miles straight through a storm of bullets. Just unbelievable. And he made it. He actually made it. The message was delivered, literally hanging by a thread from his mangled leg. The friendly fire stopped, and in that moment, a legend was born. Because that message got through, the American artillery could now target the German positions instead. And a few days later, on October 8th, the remaining 194 men, the survivors, were finally rescued. Cher ami became a massive hero. He was awarded one of France's highest military medals, the Croix de Guerre. When he got back to the States, he was a total celebrity. They say even the top general, General Pershing, was there to personally see him on his trip home. Okay, but here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Because over the years, historians, especially those at the Smithsonian, where you can actually see cher ami today, they started digging into the official records. It's an amazing, movie-worthy story, right? But how much of it is actually true? What do the Army's own documents from 1918 have to say about it? And what they found is, well, it's complicated. The military records absolutely confirm that cher ami was a real, decorated, and badly wounded war hero. No question about that. But the records say he was injured on a totally different mission, weeks after the Lost Battalion was rescued. So what's going on here? Well, it looks like the Army probably took the very real, very dramatic story of the Lost Battalion and combined it with the very real, very heroic injury of cher ami. It created one perfect, powerful story to promote the amazing work the Pigeon service was doing. The bravery was real, even if the legend itself is a mix and match. And really, this story of cher ami, myth and all, opens up a much bigger story. The story of all the unsung animal heroes of the war. And Cherami was far from the only one. Get this. There was a German pigeon named Kaiser, captured by Americans in 1918. He essentially became a prisoner of war and ended up fathering generations of pigeons for the U.S. Army, serving right through World War II. He lived to be 32 years old.
And you have to understand the sheer scale of this. The British Army alone had 20,000 pigeons in service. 20,000! So as amazing as Cherami's flight was, it was just one of tens of thousands of dangerous missions these birds flew.
And that's really the takeaway here, isn't it? It's about more than just one famous bird. The true story is about the collective sacrifice of thousands of animals. They served, they were wounded, and they died, all because of this powerful, simple instinct to just get home. So it leaves you with this question, right? Cherami's story, part fact, part legend, is the one we all remember. It makes you wonder, though, how many other incredible stories of bravery from animals and people have just been forgotten, lost to time?